What's up guys, Houndish here, and today I wanted to jump in and take a look at the new Iron Banner and Faction Rally weapons for Season 3. On top of this though, there are some exotic catalysts which are actually tied to the factions. So I want to break down the new gear, the perks for all of the weapons, and the catalysts that you can get from factions. So let's jump straight into it. So of course with Warmind and Season 3, we do have new gear for the factions and for the Iron Banner. We don't know when either of these events are going to return, but they'll probably be here relatively soon. Let's start out by taking a look at new exotic catalysts that can be picked up from factions. So these aren't currently equipped on the weapons. Bungie are going to add these later, presumably when the faction rally actually goes live. But we can see that for the Graviton Lance, it can be found by pledging to the Seekers of Exodus. So that'll be Dead Orbit. We don't know whether the initial pledge will actually guarantee you the masterwork or whether it could come from packages. We'll have to wait and find out how exactly that will work. But of course, Graviton Lance Catalyst grants 20 range and 15 aim assist, and also has the perk Hidden Hand. So this is going to be a really good one for any fans of the Graviton Lance. For new Monarchy, you can actually get the sweet Business Catalyst by pledging. And this comes with the perk Serious Business. When this weapon is fully spun up, the flinch from incoming damage is greatly reduced. So that could be a pretty interesting one as well. But then we have the Sunshot, and this will come from pledging to FWC. The masterwork for this grants plus 30 range and plus 20 points of stability. So some fairly solid stat boosts right there. So when the faction rally does come back, bear in mind you can get these catalysts by pledging to the factions. Be curious to see whether any of the objectives after that will actually need you to do stuff in the factions as well. But it's good that they have thrown in at least a couple of additional bits here. So let me know your thoughts about that stuff, guys. Next though, I'm going to talk about the new faction rally weapons and the Iron Banner weapons available for Season 3. We'll also take a look at the perks. So we'll start out with faction weapons. Spoiler alert, the faction weapons are actually slightly more interesting in terms of perks at least than the Iron Banner weapons. But for a brief look at some of the visuals right here, they have added these new kind of patterned skins to the weapons. A lot of folks are concerned about reskins when it comes to these kind of weapons, so we may as well get it out the way. These are existing model weapons, but they've added these patterns to them. Sometimes they have the faction icons on them as well. And even for the Iron Banner, we'll take a quick look. Some of the Iron Banner weapons actually look relatively cool for reskinned weapons in my opinion, but they are existing models of weapon in the game, which I suppose really a lot of folks expected. I think the pattern thing is kind of interesting though, and visually you'll probably be able to do some pretty cool stuff with shaders. Either way, more important is what you guys think. Let us know what you think of the visuals down below. But let's take a look at the hand cannon for Dead Orbit. So here it is. It's called the Agamid. I think that's how you say that. It's an aggressive frame hand cannon. So it's 110 rounds per minute. Comes with steady hand HCS, crossfire HCS, and hitmark HCS. The middle column has alloy magazine and armor piercing rounds. And then finally we have Rampage. Kills with the weapon temporarily grant increased damage, which stacks up to 3 times. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong below, but I'm pretty sure there isn't a 110 RPM hand cannon with Rampage. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. You might potentially be able to 2-tap people in PvP if you have 3 stacks of Rampage active, but I'm not 100% sure on that. The damage bonus will be very interesting though on such a high impact hand cannon. So that one's actually, you know, interesting at least. We have the Anniela. This is the sniper for Dead Orbit. It comes with rapid fire frame. We've also got zoom 30 focus and zoom 10 point. Middle column has accurized rounds. We've got flared magwell and then opening shot. So kind of a mixed bag there. Opening shot could be okay in general. This isn't really the favorite archetype, especially right now. Inside of Crucible and PvE content in general, mostly you want higher impact weapons a lot of the time. So I don't think this one is super impressive. But then there are weapons for new Monarchy, and these also have a kind of pattern effect, which is pretty loud to be interesting with a bunch of different shaders. But this is the Biedenhanda. I believe that's how you say that. It's a precision frame SNG, so it's 600 rounds. It's basically the anti-OP. It's got SC Holo, SD Thermal, middle column has extended mag or high caliber rounds, and then we have Ambitious Assassin. This is actually somewhat interesting. Ambitious Assassin overflows the mag based on the number of rapid kills before reloading. You can also pair that with extended mag. This archetype isn't actually bad inside of PvE content, so some slightly more PvE focused perks there will actually be pretty interesting. Then there is the Gm7 Rifle. This is the pulse rifle for new Monarchy. It's an adaptive frame pulse, so that's 390 rounds per minute. It has SRO 41 ocular, SLO 10 post, and SRO 52 ocular. Middle column has ricochet rounds, or appended mag, and then we've got Zen Moment. That one isn't the most exciting to me personally. I don't think the perks are fantastic on that particular weapon. But finally, there is the rocket launcher from New Monarchy, very loud once again with that weapon skin, with adaptive frame, countermass, volatile launch, smart drift control, implosion rounds, we have high velocity rounds, and then we've got auto loading holster. I think in general though, it's just very difficult to kind of replace or even stand up to the sins of the past, the curtain call and things like that. And that's in all types of content. Those launchers are just very, very good. Although it is kind of cool looking with that skin. Finally, for FWC, we have the Magnum Shepard. This one actually isn't showing an image in the database. It does have the icon there for the thumbnail, but it's adaptive frame once again, this time with ranged lens RLR5 and red dot 2 MOA. Middle column has extended mag. We've also got alloy magazine and high impact reserves. So with 360 RPM high impact reserves, pulse will be interesting. I think it'll certainly be better than the new Monarchy pulse rifle we just saw. The Vision sidearm from FWC though is actually looking pretty good. So it's Omolon adaptive frame, reliable 3-round burst. These things are very solid across the board. Target SAS, short spec SAS, and farpoint SAS. The middle column has accurized rounds or appended mag. Then we have kill clip, reloading after a kill grants increased damage. And so, you know, if you think last hope with kill clip, then this is potentially what we've got right here. Stats look okay on the weapon as well, so I think this is going to be a pretty solid one for the Crucible. Also though, it'll be pretty good for PvE content. Kill clip is going to shred through stuff. I don't want to complain, but one thing that would really have been nice to have in Season 3 would have been a handful of new legendary perks for weapons in general. I could have spiced these ones up a little bit, because even when you get the good rolls, they're coming with perks that we've had, you know, for months already. So I'm really looking forward to them increasing that pool. But those are the faction weapons we can currently see, guys. I think there are a few that aren't in the database yet. Bungie have said that they're reworking that and bringing it back, so we'll have to see when that happens. But now we've got the Iron Banner weapons. Visually, like I said, these have a new pattern. They also have the iron walls on them. And despite the fact that these are the same weapon models, I actually think the patterns are more interesting than what we saw in Season 2 at least. We have the Finite Impactor hand cannon, 140 RPM, the adaptive frame class, which is good. We've got fast draw HCS and sure shot HCS. Middle column has appended mag. We also have drop mag, and then finally snapshot sights. Also with 74 aim assist right there, that seems relatively generous, so it could actually be quite a consistent weapon. But the perks aren't particularly flashy. Rampage or something would have been interesting, but we'll have to see what it's like. We've got the Dark Decider though. This is the auto rifle, a viced model of weapon. Actually, I think this is probably my favorite looking weapon, but it is a rapid fire frame viced auto with corkscrew rifling, polygonal rifling, and fluted barrel. Middle column has extended mag or high caliber rounds, and then we've got auto loading holster. It's not necessarily a terrible roll, but I think the Hollow Earth, the Dead Orbit one from Season 2, is just frankly a better version of a very similar thing, because these viced ones are all pretty much the same. So once again, I don't think it's super exciting, which is a shame because I kind of like the look of that thing. There is the Shining Sphere rocket launcher. This is adaptive frame with quick launch. We've got linear compensator and hard launch. Middle column has alloy casing or high velocity rounds, and we've got pulse monitor. So presumably when you're critically wounded, you get a rocket out of your reserves with this. Again, like I said before, with the faction launchers, we've just already got the good legendary rocket launchers in the game apparently, until maybe we get some new perks or something. The Multimac CCX though is the SMG for Iron Banner. It has a lightweight frame. We've got IS-2 Classic, Model 8 Red, accurized rounds or alloy casing in the middle, and then dynamic sway reduction. When holding down the trigger, the weapon's sway reduction system boosts accuracy over time. So quite a lot of SMGs have got this. It is 900 rounds per minute, so it certainly helps, but generally in PvP, you're going to get kills quicker than this can really help you, especially considering if you're getting multi-kills, you're going to be reloading most of the time. But it'll be interesting to try out. We do have the Allied Demand Iron Banner sidearm. This is an adaptive frame one with quick dot SAS, short spec SAS, and target SAS. The middle column sees ricochet rounds or extended mag, and then we've got auto loading holster once again. This is the season of auto loading holster, man. It could be a generally okay sidearm. And then there is the Occluded Finality. I also think this is one of the better looking weapons. It's an aggressive frame, high damage, high recoil sniper with SSO-07 sniper and SSO-08 with tactical mag in the middle, armor piercing rounds, and finally field prep. So increased ammo reserves and faster reload when crouched. Across the board, this could be okay. I think in PvE content, people are going to start gravitating towards things like Darcy. And in PvP, we have things like the Maxim and Alone as a God. Snipers aren't seeing a ton of use, but this one could be interesting. We'll have to wait and try it out. Also from the Iron Banner though, I should mention there is the Visage of Scurry. This is the new emblem, once again with that similar pattern and the Iron Wolves. And I'm pretty sure we'll get some other cosmetic items from these events. Kind of hard to find them in the database because they're naming them very differently now. They don't have lore tabs with names of characters associated with these events, you know, or factions. So some of this stuff is actually a little bit tougher to find than it has been before. But I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on any of this stuff down below, guys. Are you excited to pick up any of these weapons? Of course, there is also the armor. You can actually inspect all of this stuff pretty much on your characters. So if you've got existing Iron Banner or faction armor, you can go and take a look at the new ornaments. Some of the stuff looks okay. I'm not the most thrilled by a lot of the Titans ornaments. Of course, I am a Titan main. So I figured anyway, you guys can check those out on your own accounts. But guys, if you have enjoyed the video or found it useful, a like is very much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe to see a lot more Destiny 2 content. Check out my sponsor Into the AM for some awesome shirts, hoodies, bandanas, hats, Overwatch League shirts, and a bunch of other cool stuff in the store, including some new God of War stuff. You can save 10% by using code Houndish, and my link will be in the description below, so check that out if you're interested. For now though, I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you guys very soon.